Okay, what is going on? LBHT crew B, what is going on?
I don't know. I think it only played like the last 20 seconds, or maybe the last 10
Yeah,
seconds of the
I
intro,
think
something
it
like
did.
that.
It's not your fault, man.
I don't
Like
like
this thing has gotten worse and worse. There was a time 7:15 we would start right on the dot
that.
because we can click live, hit the intro, and everything will play as it should. We click live at 7:15, and we don't know when it's gonna start. It just starts when it feels like starting. The music plays when it wants to play. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this is not to our standards. Okay, we will have this fixed very soon, maybe as soon as next week. All right, but I'm not happy with the direction this platform has gone. We gave them time to work things out, and they have not worked out.
No.
So they're fired. They're fired. Okay,
Yeah.
they're out of here. What's going on, everybody? I know you guys don't want to hear the behind the scenes stuff, but it is what it is. All right. Shout out to everybody. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio version of this, it is Thursday, and we put this out around lunchtime. So we hope you're enjoying your lunch break. All right, make sure you leave a 5-star review. Also, look, Davon is here. Davon is here. What's going on? Hashtag LBHT crew. Yes,
What's up, Dave?
indeed. Appreciate you coming through. Let's get some shout outs. All right. Zeke Okage is in the house. He was first. Says, it's going to be a great show when I'm first. What's good, everyone? Yes, indeed. Just Aloe's in the house. Says, what's up, LBHT crew? I hope everyone is doing well. Indeed. Thanks for coming through, Just Aloe. Big Reg. You got a new you got a new logo there, Big Reg? What is that?
Nice.
Yes. Big boy
Like
talk.
that.
I like it. Says, what's up, people? What's up with you, Big Reg? Make sure you hit that subscribe over on Big Reg's channel. He just started putting out some new content. So go and support. All right. Let's see. Who else is here? Jeremy's in the house. Says, happy Wednesday. Yes, Jeremy. Happy Wednesday. I am happy. I am happy. This is pending. But I am happy with the Ravens organization somewhat. You can never be completely happy with these guys. But something came out that EDC said that I'm happy if it holds up, right?
It's a sign of a great organization when you get happy for maybe news.
Yes.
You don't have to wait for things to actually happen because you don't have any expectations of things actually happening. So when you think that maybe something is trending in a positive direction, now you're all smiles. We don't do that over here in Carolina. All right.
Yes, you do.
We
do it all the time.
We wait for results.
And I'm excited for Carolina too. I've been excited. I've been excited for the Panthers ever since Bryce started. He clearly showed that he's turning it around. Right. Like the season's been up and down. I know some Panthers fans are kind of frustrated by some of the games that they lost, but all I'm seeing is trending upwards for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since Bryce has clearly shown he's back. Like he's the guy that you need him to be. It's been all positive in my book. Now he has to do better next year.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I've been fairly happy with the front office as well. Wouldn't give them an A per se, but I think they're doing some things. Some things right. Some things right.
I didn't put that in the show notes, but we got to talk about it. Some grades were passed out for each organization. All right, that wasn't in the show notes, but we're going to discuss that. We have a lot to talk about. I like the offseason, man. When things are slow and it seems like it's hard to find things to talk about, there's always something that we can discuss. All right, and we can have a little bit more fun with it. All right. Yeah. Chase is in the house. Says, "What up, guys? What's up, Chase? Thanks for coming through." I be saying, "What's good?" Says, "What up, LBHT? Are we going to go Squid Games on Mark and Untucker and have Ronnie make it to the next round?" I'm not gonna lie, Untucker is the funniest name. So, all right, we're gonna discuss all that. Man, I'm pumped for this show. All right. Make sure you also sign up for our Patreon. Okay, we had an overtime show. You guys are going to ask us about Steve Smith. That's going to be in the overtime show. All right. We're going to have a grown up conversation about that situation. Okay. Everybody got their jokes off on Twitter all week. All right. And we're going to look. I mean, we have an immature crew here. There's gonna be some more jokes being told in the overtime show, but we're gonna have an adult conversation about it, and whatever else you want to talk about. So go to patreon.com/LBHT Show and sign up. It's just $5 or more if you want a coin. You want a nice coin like this. Oh, let's fade now. There we go. There you go. That's a nice shiny coin. That's for the $10 tier. So go check it out. Sign up. You get access to the overtime show and our Discord. Well worth the price of admission. All right. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Bazel's in the house. Says I'm late because Coach sent me, but he gave me a hall pass. Salute, Bazel, and salute to Coach and Chris. Make sure you subscribe over to Sip to Tally Films because Coach and Chris are giving you all the information that you need to know for this upcoming draft. The combine is going on right now, and Coach and Chris can break down any player that you have any questions about. And they're doing a lot of work over there, so check them out. And salute to Bazel for the $10 super chat. Says insert comment here.
Thank you, Bazel. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that your comment was Carolina Super Bowl 2026. Appreciate that.
Yes, I didn't set a goal, but look, man, we appreciate everybody. Okay, we appreciate everybody that donates. The pin link that's in the chat box will take you to what's up, Coach. The pin link that's in the chat box will take you to our Streamlabs page, which works like a super chat. You leave a donation, leave a comment, and Microphone Man will dance on the screen. Same thing if you send in a Cash App, $ LBHT Show. All right, what's Jay saying? He says same dude with a beard. Like y'all's calls himself Coach. Yeah. He says, RG, salute. Appreciate you, Coach.
RG. Ayo Fonz.
What's good?
We getting rid of Jen, Cleveland, and Boston. I'm not gonna read that. Well, Cleveland he's a free agent, so he'll mosey on out on his own. Justin Tucker, as soon as the league investigation is up and the new year starts, they're gonna go ahead and cut him, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. We have a lot to get into. Killer Cam, what's good? Says hola Jose and mucho gusto Brodny.
Nice to meet you, Cam.
All right, we're going to get started on this show. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And I just want to say this too. This is a little fact. We did not start the LBHT show in Black History Month. We started like a week before.
Yeah.
It was like a pilot run though. We did, we went live. I think we called it LBHT show, but it wasn't the actual. We didn't have any real structure. And then we really got going in
and look at us now.
Yeah, we made it now.
Very, very structured show. Down
Steve
to
O.W., what's up, man?
Second.
Right. All right. B and Okole have a Black History fact for you.
This week on LBHT's Black History Fact, the Statue of Liberty is more than just an iconic symbol of freedom and democracy. If you look closely, there's a broken chain and shackle at her feet, which often goes unnoticed. This detail, crafted by French sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi, symbolizes the end of slavery in the United States. It was included to commemorate the abolition of slavery and the ongoing fight for liberty and justice. The broken chain represents a significant victory over oppression, tying directly to the history of the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation. When France gifted the statue to the U.S. in 1886, this symbol was a nod to the abolitionist movement and the hope for a future without tyranny and bondage. This often overlooked element of the Statue of Liberty serves as a poignant reminder of the nation's journey towards equality and human rights. It's a testament to the progress made and the ongoing struggle for freedom, making it an important part of Black history and the broader quest for human rights.
Salute to that Black history fact. I actually didn't know that. I've been to the Statue of Liberty before. I never noticed that.
Well, you can thank our guy Osmond for that, for sending that in. Appreciate you, Osmond. Thank you very much.
Shout out to Osmond. Osmond, he always blesses us with some dope Black history facts.
Yes.
So we appreciate you, man. And look, anybody, especially Patreon members, send your suggestions, and obviously we take it to heart and we implement them into the show. In fact, our newest Patreon member, Kim, asked us. She actually asked like a week ago. I just saw it today. If Patreon members can suggest things for the show, absolutely. You can suggest things before the show. You can suggest things during the show. I have set topics to start out the show, but if you want to bring up something, we'll talk about it.
Speak of the devil.
Hey, shout out to Kim. Says, I listened to quite a few podcasts, and the Black History Facts is what grabbed my attention. Been watching ever since. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
I like to hear that. Thank you. Tracy's here. What's up, Tracy? Sis got to podcast right on time for Black History Facts. Hey, salute to Tracy. Appreciate you. I'm glad you like these because, YouTube can be a very dark place.
Yeah.
And when we first started, we were certain that people were going to complain. We get a couple complaints here and there. Don't care. But for the most part, people are enjoying it. I'm glad you guys enjoy it.
We did get a donation while the Black History Fact was going from Coach, but for obvious reasons, we don't have the animation play during the video there. So
let's switch scenes.
Well, no, I mean it was just on the Black History Fact. It doesn't play on there because I don't want it coming up during the video. So it should be coming up momentarily.
Salute. There we go. There you go. What was his comment?
Zero tolerance, huh?
Oh, okay. So we're gonna talk about that.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Actually,
thank you.
Before you say anything, Bazel, also I suggest a segment of me and Ferris arguing random points. That's what the OT is for, my friend.
Yes.
You haven't showed up to the OT in a while, but Ferris has been carrying that torch for you every single week.
Right.
Arguing with whoever will respond.
Yeah. But you're welcome anytime. Of course, you're welcome. RG says he's a first time listener. Hey, salute, RG. I hope you enjoy the show. Appreciate you coming through. If you're looking for more, you come from Coach's channel, so I mean, this is a downgrade. Okay, hate to tell you.
You don't tell people that. You let them find out on their own. The deeper into the show we get,
all right.
And he's like, "Is this good? I don't know. Do I like it? I'm not sure." And then he's like, "Maybe I need to give it another week," and then all of a sudden he's subscribed.
Yeah, and it's too late. Okay, YouTube's gonna forever suggest our videos to you. Okay, okay, all right. So where do we want to start? The zero tolerance. Coach brought it up. Zero tolerance. All right. I got to listen to a good chunk of EDC, a little bit of Harbaugh's presser at the combine, and to what Coach was alluding to, the zero tolerance policy, in terms of Justin Tucker, right? Because he was asked 4 questions. I know it was 4 questions because he said, "Hey, this is the 4th question I asked. I've been asked about Justin Tucker. That's enough." Yeah. And basically, they're not going to make a decision on him yet. Okay, they're waiting for the NFL to finish their investigation, which is, to me, is weak. Right? We know that you've been contacted about his actions years ago. You don't need the league to investigate. You investigate.
Well, not according to Eric DeCosta. According to Eric DeCosta, they didn't find out until the Baltimore Banner published their story.
I don't believe that. Because, okay, they didn't find out until Baltimore Banner published their story, but he didn't refute anything that they said.
No, of course not. I
Right.
mean,
Okay.
he doesn't. How could he? He doesn't know anything about it.
Now, one thing that he did point out, and Jeff Rabik pointed out as well, is the Ravens have never said they have a zero tolerance policy, right? And he pointed to an interview back in 2015 where I think DeCosta or somebody has specifically said, like, we don't necessarily have a zero tolerance policy here. And I'm like, well, I know I've heard them say that before.
Yeah.
Where did they say it? I'll tell you where we heard it from. John Harbaugh said it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw a headline just the other day when he was talking about Deshaun Watson. And he said he was happy that they had the zero tolerance policy when somebody
Yes.
asked him about Deshaun Watson.
But he basically misspoke. Right?
Well, no, but did he though? Because now I'm looking at another quote here from Sports Illustrated that says the coach also said he does not regret using the phrase zero tolerance.
Oh, well,
So
I didn't. Go. Well, no. Well, okay, no, he didn't. He spoke on behalf of the organization because they clearly don't stand by that, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, I guess they kind of corrected them, like they've come out, I guess, and said like, no, they don't have a zero tolerance policy, but that's what people remember, right? All these years, we were under the assumption that this organization has higher standards, and there's zero tolerance when it comes to things like that, and that's the reason why we're okay with not getting certain players, right? Fans, for the most part, we don't go for those type of players because we're held to a higher standard over here. We don't want players that are going to cause any kind of drama or off the field issues. That's why we don't want the Tyreek Hills, because the things he's done off the field, we would never bring a guy here like that. But it turns out we will.
Yeah, and we know that, and I've pointed out on this show that the zero tolerance is BS. It always has been, but of course they're not going to correct anyone publicly because it paints them in a good light to have people talk about the organization that way and say, oh, we have zero tolerance for these kind of off the field issues, when reality is you don't. But and Killer Cam right on cue says no excuse to not. Well, he needs to not go after Tyreek Hill now.
Correct.
But you don't need an excuse there. He costs money, and he can play. And he's an elite player, so that's 2 strikes. And he's not going anywhere. So he's going to be staying in Miami.
Yeah. He's not going anywhere. What's up, Daniel Franklin? Appreciate you coming through. Pay the bills. I see you in here. He says zero tolerance when there's damning video evidence. Yes. Yes. It does any organization. Like, my criticisms on that are small, right? Like, they're going to look at your value versus, the headache, right? That you're going to bring with what you're getting into on the field or off the field, right? So Ray Rice, unfortunately, I don't think Ray Rice was completely washed. I think he
was 100% washed.
No.
Look
But let me finish. Let me finish one second. Like he was playing hurt, as many Ravens players often do, right? And I think because he was still young, right?
He was youngish, but
I think he could have come back healthy and been a productive running back in this league. But the fact is, he didn't play well, right? He didn't play well coming into that season, and that stuff came out. And for them, it was like, oh well, you're not playing well anyway, and you're not worth the media headache. We can just cut you, because initially it was a 2-game suspension, and they were going to move on. And they're like, okay, fine, it's not going to be a big deal. But then the video came out, and they're like, well, we don't want to answer these questions, so we'll just get rid of you now.
Yeah. But he was completely washed. If he wasn't, he would have gotten a shot somewhere else. His numbers and his production had gone down across the board for about 2 years prior to that. So I mean, he was done. But
I just think he was playing. I think he played through injuries in that.
He may have been in that last season, but I mean, like I said, it was his last 3 years that his numbers were all dropping in every category. But my thing is, I know that he couldn't play, because if he could play, somebody would have signed him. Somebody signed Greg Hardy. right? And
Yeah, but
Greg Hardy was, he was all over CNN. They had a slideshow on their front page with over 50 pictures of the damage that he did to his girlfriend, and it's just, they said, but he can rush the passer.
yeah, but his numbers hadn't dropped.
No. That's what I'm saying. He could still play, and so he got another shot.
Yeah,
And
but if he's coming off a bad year, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't have played.
I think he would if he still had it. That's what I'm saying. Like if he could not play anymore versus just had a bad year. I think the league said, they looked at Ray and they're like, he doesn't have it anymore.
I think, I think around that time, I mean, that was the start of, hey, running backs values are going down. We can replace you,
Mm-hmm.
Edge rushers are more of a premium, good ones.
No, they are for sure. But I mean, Ray Rice's numbers were abysmal. Like they weren't bad. They were they were terrible.
Yeah.
Like he was well below the other running backs on the team who also weren't good.
But tying back into this Justin Tucker thing, I mean, what they're doing now, I think, is shameful because Justin Tucker's coming off a terrible year, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's played, I don't know how many years has he played now. 13 years, I believe, something like that. Because he came in the year we won the Super Bowl.
The year after, yeah.
No, the year we won the Super Bowl.
No, he wasn't on the Super Bowl team. It was the following year. No, I thought he came in the year after.
No, you remember he tried to do the fake kick and run.
Hold on.
Because the year before it was the Cundiff debacle, and then we brought in Justin Tucker. Yeah. That was his rookie year, I believe.
Oh, Cundiff. Oh yeah, 2012.
Yeah. Okay. So 13 years. Yeah. 13. So it was 13 years. He's not Tucker anymore. Okay. Is he completely washed? Doesn't matter. Look, man, I don't care if he wasn't washed at all. He's a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
We've been past the point of needing to rely on him, right? We're too good of a team. Well, we have too good of a quarterback, and we should be too good of a team to worry if our kicker can make it from 60 yards, to win a game. We shouldn't be playing for those anymore. He's not worth it. Cut him. He should have been cut before these allegations even came out.
Well, that's one thing, I think he was going to be cut regardless. But I do think that they are just kind of waiting for the league year. I don't know if that's a issue with his contract or what it is, but and now with the league investigating, they don't really have a reason to move forward until they're done, because you could say, hey, you know what? Everybody gets their due process, and we're going to see what they say, blah blah blah, and you can kind of just push the decision down the road a little bit and not really look bad because, they're investigating. You want to find out the truth, blah, blah, blah. The league year hasn't started yet. All sorts of issues. And then, once the league says, yikes, then they can go ahead and cut them.
Well, okay. I'll say this too, right? Because I know a lot of people are like, hey, man, it's Justin Tucker, the greatest kicker of all time. You had a lot of great memories with them. You can't just cut him. You got to give him his due process. Okay, fine. Then here's what you do, right? If that's how they feel about him, because these are human beings, right? Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh, like the front office, they establish relationships with some of these players. He's been there for a long time, right? And it's not as simple as, okay, well, you're out of here, right? They're not robots. But you talk to them and say, hey, man, it's time to retire. All right. It's time to retire. You can retire now, and we don't have to address these things. It doesn't matter what comes up with the investigations. Like, because according to the Baltimore Banner, like everything I've read, none of the women have said like he's actually like, physically assaulted them or anything like that. Right. It hasn't gotten to a point where it's just like, but he's been a real creep, and that's not good either. But the Ravens can say, hey, inappropriate behavior. Okay. We just found out about it. Whatever, but he's retiring. We're going to let him retire. Thank you for your service and move on. And then in a year or two, you can bring him back and he can be on a special team sideline or whatever. He can come visit camps or whatever, because people don't realize Ray Rice still visits, the team.
Yeah. No, the NFL again. That's my whole thing. The NFL doesn't have a problem with Ray Rice. They have a
No.
problem with his play on the field.
Yep.
Ali Tyleek is in the chat saying, "Oh, he no team was going to touch him after that video came out." Joe Mixon's still playing in the league to this day.
To this day.
He went, he punched a woman on video too.
I
But
think
Joe Mixon can play, and so he still
but
got drafted in the second round and had his career.
I think that the media went crazy with the Ray Rice video. They went crazy and they went overboard. And I know they got overboard because I've seen people walk back some of the things that they've said about Ray Rice. Right? I've seen people, they've written these articles, and they go on TV and they go on these rants. And when his career is over, right, it's clearly over, and he's not going to get a second chance. Then years later, they're like, well, damn, man, like, there's been a lot of other dirt bags since then, and the league ain't going as hard. Then they're like, maybe we, I've seen people say I might have been a little too harsh. Like I didn't want his career to be over. I just, I think he deserves a second chance and all this stuff, whatever. The media definitely played a role. How big or small, I don't know, but but they definitely played a role, and they definitely made it a bigger deal than these other players.
They made it a bigger deal, yeah, because of the video.
Yeah,
I mean, the Giants kicker kept a diary of his abuse, and it wasn't as
disgusting.
big a deal. Uh, but I'm saying, regardless of any of
What up,
that,
Hendo?
if he could still play, he would have still been playing.
Yeah,
The league does not have a problem with violence against women with players who can contribute to their team on the field. They just don't.
that's true. That's true. We got AD in the house, man. You want to bring him up? You want to switch
Yeah,
scenes?
I was gonna switch the scene right here. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, but you hearing?
That's Adrian.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I see what you're talking about, Ali. Yes, TMZ went crazy with the video. Everybody saw the video. Like I said, Joe Mixon's video was on YouTube right now too. Everybody's seeing Joe Mixon's video. Everybody see what he did to that girl, and it did not matter because Joe Mixon can play football, and Ray Rice at that point couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Felipe says, Jose, why we don't have money every year if cap goes up like 40, 60 mil per year? Oh, we're going to talk about that, Felipe. Okay. We're gonna talk about that. I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad that this audience starts thinking outside the box now. Okay. I'm glad that they start asking those questions. Man, why every year we don't have enough, right? Because we always preach about fiscal responsibility, right? We always talk about, hey, we don't want to just kick the can down the road. We don't want to be one of these teams like the Saints, like the Rams, and they're all in right now, but what are they gonna look like down the road? Like, we want to have cap down the road. When was the last time we went into an offseason and said, whew, look at all this money we have. Look at
And
all this money.
y'all think about that for a second. And on that note, we're gonna bring in our guest, Adrian. How you doing tonight, Adrian?
I'm good. What's good, fellas? How y'all feeling?
What's up, man? How you doing? Oh, wait.
I'm good.
There we go. Okay.
Am I muted or no?
Nope. You're
No,
good.
you're
Yep.
All right, good. Yeah, we don't have no money. Bottom line, we ain't got.
We just moved on from the Justin Tucker thing, but I know you and I discussed it a little bit early on. What are your thoughts on it? Like, they're basically waiting for the league to do their investigation on them. How do you feel about the situation?
I mean, I understand the loyalty to Justin Tucker just because he is the GOAT kicker. However, I think they need to cut their losses with him right now. They're not bringing him back. We know it is the worst kept secret in the NFL right now. Just let him go. And like you said, Jose, he can have a great retirement here. He'll be in the Ring of Honor. he has a chance, an outside
Not
shot.
no more. He won't.
Well, I think he's going to be in the. I think he's going to be in the Ring of Honor.
He left his rings on all over Baltimore. He ain't going in the stadium.
These are allegations. They haven't
Okay.
they haven't proven anything. I mean,
Okay.
I feel like he's probably guilty, but what are you going to do, man?
I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna pretend he never played for the Baltimore Ravens. Is what you're gonna do.
Never again. Come on, man.
It's like I don't know if you saw Adrian. I mean, you probably did, but there was a video that the Mavericks put out, a little hype video after they traded Luka and Maxi Kleber, and there was a highlight they were trying to show of Klay Thompson, and Maxi Kleber happened to run through the shot, and so they completely edited him out and made him the Dallas Mavericks logo, like he didn't exist. like he wasn't on the court at the time. It's petty and it's pathetic, but that's how teams do it.
Adrian brings up a good question. I want to ask the chat: do you all think Justin Tucker will make it into the Ring of Honor? Because there's a chance. There's a chance.
Should ask, is Ray Rice in?
No, he ain't in.
No, I don't think he played long enough.
Yeah, he did. Sure.
No, I don't think he did.
Is Rice our greatest running back? You feel like?
No,
Yeah.
Jamal Lewis.
So he's second to Jamal. Jamal has to be the greatest. You're right.
And now Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but Henry's only.
Derrick Henry's not. He's not a Raven.
He's a Raven for life.
4 or 5. He played for 6 years.
Yeah, it's not long enough.
I mean, you have some minimum number of years you got to play to get into the Ring of Honor.
He's not better than Jamal Lewis. Okay, he's not better than Jamal Lewis. But anyway, but hear me out. These allegations, to be honest, unless they're going to file lawsuits and they actually win or he settles, I don't think the NFL is going to really come to any conclusion. They're going to say, hey, look, not much here. We can't really do much with this. All right. Because nothing was reported to authorities or anything like that. They don't have any kind of correspondence with him through emails or texts or anything like that. They're going to, because he's standing by it. Like, I've never done anything. He's saying he's never been kicked out of any establishment. Shout out to Big Reg for a $5 donation. Appreciate you. Can you pull up his comment, B?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
But he's never been kicked out of any establishment. Nothing's been documented from what we can see yet. And if they come out and say, hey, there's nothing here, and the Ravens say, hey, we've never gotten any calls, this is news to us, there's enough deniability there for them to, time to pass in between these things, and he can just kind of move on.
So thank you very much, Reg. He says, to those whom it may concern, Drake still taking L's. Also, the cap is cap. Well, look, they said that multiple establishments told him you can't come here anymore. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call those establishments and say, hey, did you tell them that? Yes. Okay. Well, we're done.
But that's what's in question, right? Because I don't think the banner really said if they confirmed if any of those establishments banned him. That part I don't know.
I don't remember if the article said if they confirmed it or not. But that's what I'm saying. Your NFL investigations, call them up.
Yes.
And see. Hey, did you ban Justin Tucker from your establishment? Yes. All right. And by the way, hop on Twitter and find some of those random Twitter users and ask, how did you know in 2020 before this article came out? If there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Did you also make that up?
But like I said, like if the maybe if the Ravens had helped, covering it up, which they should not be. But I'm just saying if they can't establish anything, right? Mm-hmm. Then yes, it is possible that they just say, hey, the allegations are there, but there's no other evidence, and he's standing on his word, and we haven't witnessed anything ourselves. We can't do nothing about that.
Well, but that's where and this kind of happens a lot in cases where it's sexual harassment or any kind of violence against women and things like that, where we talk about the case as if witness testimony is not evidence. It is. And the fact that if they have multiple women from multiple different establishments and multiple different times all telling similar stories is evidence. Now, it depends on how,
it's not solid evidence, though. Right?
Based on what? Like, is an eyewitness testimony solid evidence for a crime?
No.
People use that to convict for crimes every single day in this country.
And a lot of times those convictions get turned over because eyewitness
what
testimony
I'm not saying that
is one of the least reliable things.
I'm not saying that they're never wrong. I'm saying it is evidence that's used in our justice system every day to get convictions. And so we can't then in a case like this say, well, the victim testimony doesn't have any weight.
It is,
especially when it's so many people telling the same story.
But I'm saying it's not the most reliable because yes, eyewitness testimony is used. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Right? Shout out, AD.
No, I understand. And again, I'm not saying that I'm not arguing whether or not it's reliable. I'm saying that it is used whether or not it's reliable.
No, it is. No. Like I'm not just. We're kind of splitting hairs here, right? Yes, it is. It is evidence. All I'm saying is it's not always solid evidence. That's all I'm saying, right? So yes, no, it shouldn't be dismissed. That's a lot of accusations, right? Yeah. And it is possible that maybe they had some pact of, hey, we're going to all accuse him to get some money out of this guy.
They were all together in a group somewhere, and Justin Tucker was a dick to them all at the same time. And they, you know what? 7 years from now, Justin.
Yeah,
coming back for you.
He says, "No way, 16 not report to officials." Well,
what are you going? That happens all the time too.
But here's the thing. What are you reporting, right? Like he's being creepy.
And what do you mean officials? Because they did report it to their jobs.
Yeah.
But he's not been accused of any crimes though. This is just inappropriate behavior, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So no physical or sexual assault.
That's the weird thing about it, right? Because yes, it's nothing physical or anything like that. It's just you know what I'm saying? Like it's not necessarily something you can call the police about. You know, you tell your boss, and if they have banned them, that's clear evidence right there. They call the team and say, hey, here's what he's doing, you know, and that's about as far as you can do. And then you know, if they're not doing anything, then the last resort is go to the paper and tell your story.
But that is the thing, like, because it depends on exactly what you're accusing them of, right? Because exposing yourself is a crime. And you know, some people say he was doing that intentionally, repeatedly. Right. Yeah. Some people say that I can't honestly I can't remember if this was the Justin Tucker story or the Deshaun Watson story. But just as an example, you know, one of the two, I forget which one. But they, you know, an accuser was saying that they were, you know, putting their genitals on them, you know, their arm or their leg or something like that. That is also a crime.
I think that was Deshaun Watson.
I'm pretty sure it was, but I don't know if it was Tucker also. I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Deshaun ran the gamut with what he was doing. Yeah. But yeah, so like it just depends on the specifics of each individual incident. I mean, and that's why you go through, you know, the investigations. That's why you interview everyone separately and get the stories and make sure that everything is lining up and you know that these stories are credible, right?
I feel like they had to press charges for it to constitute a crime. I'm not that.
No, it's a crime regardless, whether you press charges or not.
I mean, but is he going to go to jail if nobody comes forward? Because these type of things typically require somebody to testify. So if you're saying that he did this off the record, like, you know, he exposed himself or, you know, he was inappropriate sexually off the record, there's no case there if nobody's willing to prosecute him and take him to court for it. So it's
that's a whole different thing, whether or not he's going to be punished for the crime. and whether or not a crime was committed. Those are two separate issues.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that he
And
may not.
I don't think there's any chance of him actually being punished for this, regardless of what the NFL finds. I mean, the NFL is not law enforcement; they don't have any say in any actual punishment, and I don't think there is any criminal case going on. So, I mean, it's unlikely he would be punished. Period.
Yeah. Ken wants to know, so can we define creepy? What's the deal? Creepy is everything that we just talked about with Justin Tucker and Deshaun Watson. Creepy and in some cases criminal, right? Justin Tucker's situation, like B said, if he is exposing himself, that is a crime, right? But at the very least, yeah, creepy stuff, man. Like inappropriate behavior, is inappropriate.
And the intent matters as well, because like if you're a person who's getting a massage and you just get aroused, that's not inappropriate behavior. That's it's in some cases it's a natural response that you can't control. But with Tucker, the idea is that he is being intentional and left behind some.
But this is what I never understood about this. Like, and don't forget Robert Kraft, because I haven't heard his name mentioned, and he was involved in similar type things. He just happens to be an owner and a billionaire, and that's why it's not talked about.
He was involved in straight up illegal activities.
But let's not forget about Robert Kraft. But this is the problem that I have with the whole situation. It's like Justin Tucker, if he is doing these things and exposing himself, which he's been accused of by 16 different women, you're a millionaire, bro. Pay a woman, man. You got all type of different ways to pay if that's what you into, So why go in there getting a massage, and that's what you're supposed to be doing, but you're sexually harassing people when you have the money to just, get
because the fact that it's not consensual is part of the enjoyment for people like that. That's why that's why you don't just go and hire someone. Jeremy saying he seems he wasn't wearing any clothes. I'm not going to say it's super common or the most common, but it's not an uncommon thing when you're at a spa getting a massage. Like you can be undressed, but they cover you with a sheet or a towel.
This is what I don't get. This is what I don't get, B, though. You have access to lawyers. Like, why not have people sign off on paperwork as to the behavior that you're allowed to exhibit and the behavior that you're not? If the spa is not willing or the workers aren't willing to accept the terms of you getting a massage, then you don't get a massage there. You hire somebody that's willing to do the little weird, creepy shit that you want to do. They won't do that.
It's like people who run around flashing people, right?
Yeah.
Part of it is they don't want to see you, and you're making them.
Yeah, yeah.
He just had too much to lose to be doing it. It's just irresponsible.
You would think so, but the reality is, the more money you get, and the more you have, the more power you get, the more people kind of live out their fantasies. Whether that's just, hey, I'm going to go buy an island. And
the more you feel you're untouchable.
Yeah, or I'm going to do this kind of thing. I mean,
yeah,
you're really into the music business. You know about Diddy, right?
Yeah, I don't understand it. You're Diddy, man. You can have any woman or creature you want, man. Like, I just don't get it, man.
He did. He said, "I want more." Pause. All right. Enough of the creep stuff.
He wants the things that he can't have, or is not supposed to have.
Yeah. All right. Look, let's get on to Mark Andrews, because somebody brought up Mark Andrews earlier. Okay. EDC was very non-committal on Mark Andrews, which leads me to believe I know how we're going to open up some cap. Okay. That's what I took from what he said. He said, you guys want to know how we're going to afford it? I'll tell you how we're going to afford it. Our friend Mark Andrews. Okay.
I have a question about Marcus. That's my time. Mark's great. Mark's great. Love Mark. I'll see y'all next week.
He said all the things that you say to somebody when you're about to fire them or cut them or whatever. Yeah. He was just like, we got a ton of great tight ends on the team. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, nobody loves Mark Andrews more than me. That's he said.
This guy could be a starter on 31 other teams in this league.
Nobody's a bigger fan of Mark than I am. I think there's a couple people that are bigger fans of Mark than you are, right? That will want to keep him on the team. Guys, he's gone. I think he's clearly gone because Ronnie Stanley, who we're going to talk about in a second, which is why I'm a little happier today. They came out and said, "Nah, we trying to keep Ronnie." All right. So they didn't say that about Mark. There wasn't any. We're close to something. It's easier to work something out with a tight end than it is a left tackle.
Why do y'all do this? Mark Andrews need to get traded to the Panthers. Why do y'all have this hate for the Panthers just because you end up in the same exact place as them every season?
Well, okay. I mean, look, we haven't gotten to the Panthers stuff yet, but let's mix it in because I'm seeing a few people say that the Panthers should look at getting the best tight end in the draft. How you feel about that, B?
Well, it depends, right? We talked about before. We were talking about the job that the front office is doing, and this past offseason, they really attacked the O-line because the O-line was the worst. And they went out and they got Robert Hunt, they got Damian Lewis, they shored up the O-line, they played much better. And they're talking about doing that for the defensive line this offseason in free agency. Unnecessary bluntness. He was on Twitter talking about, in a video, I saw it on Twitter, saying how the Panthers, and I want you to pay attention to what I say here because it's not the normal thing. The Panthers are giving up over 100 rushing yards per game on first down. Not for the game, but like if you just added up the runs on first down. They were giving up over 100 rushing yards every week. Jeez. So, we always talk about how they're, the worst defense of all time, essentially. And they do need to attack that. Now, the draft is very deep in defensive line prospects, but they have issues on both sides of the ball. So if they're going to go into free agency and they're going to say, hey, we're going to go and sign Milton Williams, we're going to go sign Josh Sweat, we're going to trade for Harold Landry, we're going to do all these things. We got Derek Brown coming back. We're going to I mean, they're already letting Shaq Thompson walk and letting Trevin Wallace kind of step into that role. Then you can go into the draft and say at number 8 we're going to take McMillan out of Arizona, or we can take Warren out of, I believe Warren's from Penn State, I believe. But the top tight end, top wide receiver, and use that number 8 pick to help Bryce Young. But it depends on how free agency or how the first wave of free agency plays out for them.
Wait. Okay. So we did videos. We kind of gave out awards for the Panthers. Jatavian Sanders is somebody I like. I think that guy can be your starting tight end.
I think he's got the ability to as well. But it's a pretty deep tight end class. And if they want to go with 2 tight ends versus trying to rebuild the wide receiving core totally, that's an option. But it's just it depends on how free agency plays out, like I said, and then it's gonna depend on how the draft falls. Because right now, I mean, a lot of people keep telling me that Abdul Carter is not going to be there at 8, right? And maybe he won't be, but we were talking about that a month ago, and now we're looking at potentially 3 quarterbacks going in the top 7, right? With Shador, Cam, and Jackson Dart. So anything can happen. We've got the combine going on this week, and then there's going to be pro days, there's going to be individual workouts, and just because a player is a consensus top player doesn't mean that the Tennessee Titans agree with you, because they're the Tennessee Titans, and what do they know? And it doesn't mean that Cleveland or New England agrees with you, because Mike Vrabel's running the show over there, and what does he know? So I'm still on the Abdul Carter train right now, but if he doesn't fall, yeah, they can go offense.
Abdul Carter said this the other day. I think he said, "I'm the best player in the draft. I should go number 1." I felt like that was big boy talk when the draft with Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter. For him to say that he's the best prospect in the draft, I like that from him, though.
He probably is, right? But Jalen Carter was the best prospect in his class, and he went, I believe, it was 9th. Now there was some off-field issues there as well, but the second best prospect in that class was probably Kyle Hamilton. He went 14th. It all depends. It depends on the position. It depends on the team. It depends on the need and all that. He does play edge, which is one of the more premium positions in the league. But again, it's going to depend on whether Tennessee even stays at number one. They've gotten a lot of calls for trading out of that spot because teams need quarterbacks, and there's multiple quarterbacks. There could be a fourth quarterback going in the top 10 if somebody is just really in love with Jalen Milroe, right? So it just kind of depends. Nobody really knows at this point how that top 10 is going to shake out.
Yeah. Now, the chat is talking about trading Mark Andrews. I want to ask the chat, if we're able to trade Mark Andrews, what do you think the compensation will be? What do you think we will get in a trade for Mark Andrews? Because this is where I think people start to get a little unrealistic.
Yeah, it's a day 3 pick.
He's how old now? 29?
I believe so, yeah.
29. Highly productive. You can say he's a top 5 tight end in the league. $11 million. Killer says
fourth rounder.
Fourth or fifth. I mean, with the contract, probably fifth.
Yeah, I think if he had a more favorable contract, yes, a higher pick.
He's going to be turning 30 in about 170 days.
What did Devontae Adams go for last year? Fourth? Yeah, he's going to go for like a third or a fourth. Probably fourth.
Now, if he had more production in the postseason,
right,
maybe a second,
you wouldn't be thinking about trading him. So
right, but you be saying at least a second. If he played like a top 2, not 2 tight end in the postseason, yes, we wouldn't be talking about trading though. But if we were trading him, it wouldn't be for no third or fourth, right? People be saying first round, and we could, you could make the argument. Jay says fifth.
A fifth ahead.
Scratch the Wiz says you got a second for Hayden Hurst. You got a second for Hayden Hurst, who was a first round pick right after his rookie year when he was still on his
like 23
deal, when he was still on his rookie deal, and people thought he could still play. It's not the same situation. Mark is 29. He's getting paid a lot of money, and his best days are clearly behind him.
Yeah. They should trade Mark Andrews a later round draft pick to get a second round pick. Hey, I mean, if you can get it, sure. What the Ravens should be doing is trying to move up, throw the chips in, and move up in the draft. I don't want to see them with 5 fourth round picks. I don't want to see them with 3 third round picks. All right. Trade those things in and move up in the first and second round.
What's the count right now? 11?
We got 11 picks?
I think we got 11 total picks this year.
EDC
was acting like we were going to use every draft pick. Like there was no opportunity to package a couple and move up.
I want to see us with 5 picks. Okay, a higher first round pick, a higher second round pick, maybe 2/3 and a fourth or something like that. I don't want to see any more than 5 picks. I package those picks that we have, okay, and move up. I don't want if we're picking using all 11 picks, we're not gonna have a good draft. Let's just be real, man. It's not gonna be. We'll be sitting here saying, "Oh, we just gotta give them time. We just gotta give them time." Next year, hey man, just gotta give them time. Just gotta give them time, right? 3rd or 4th years, some of them might get to a level where they can start, and we were saying, "Hey, see, look, great pick by EDC. He's working out. Look at him. Well, we're not going to pay him. He priced himself out, right? We can't pay this man. No, we're not going to pay him. We'll just draft somebody else, okay? And then in 4 or 5 years, they might work out for us. We gotta stop that. All right, that's not building a team. That's not maintaining a top level team. You're wasting a whole bunch of time, a whole bunch of Lamar's time.
Yeah, it's a pinata strategy with EDC. Is let me pick a whole bunch of guys blindfolded, swing a bunch of times, and see if I hit on something. Instead of actually targeting the positions that you need and the guys that can come in immediately and help the team, because you're obviously not going to spend the money in free agency. We know that they're not going to spend big money there. So he has to hit on the draft. That's the only opportunity we have to put a championship team around Lamar at this point.
Yeah. Now let's talk about something that makes me happy. Okay, EDC was asked about Ronnie Stanley, and I thought he was going to give the response that he gave for Mark Andrews about Ronnie Stanley. That's what I expected. And when he started talking, my mind didn't catch up to what he was actually saying at first. And I said, "Oh wait a minute. He's saying they're going to keep him. I think he's saying they're going to keep him." He didn't say it's a done deal, but he said they are close. I think he mentioned the agent. He said talking with the agent. They're close. He said, we got to work out a couple of things, but I feel confident we're going to get that deal done. That means it's getting done. Now, I am happy that they're not dumb enough to let him go, because I know a lot of people are like, hey, you gotta let him go. You can't pay him what he's worth. He's worth everything. He's worth everything. I don't understand how you all can devalue a left tackle like that when you have the best or one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't understand how you can just say we got a good tackle here and we have no other way to replace him. Don't want to pay him. Let him go.
And you've already seen, Lamar finish a couple seasons injured. You've already seen what the O-line looks like without Ronnie Stanley. If he's been out hurt and you had to move Orlando Brown over, it was a mess.
One of the injuries was awful a whiff block, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, I don't understand Eric DeCosta's philosophy when it comes to the O-line and how they never really have backup tackles. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that, at least, like you said, at least he is in contact with Ronnie's agent and it looks like they're going to get something done, or at least try to get something done, because losing Ronnie Stanley would be catastrophic,
disastrous
in the offseason.
That tells me that they at least understand that they need to have some sort of protection for Lamar, right? Now, not out of the woods yet. We still need guards. So I still got to see what they do the rest of the offseason. But recognizing that you have to keep Ronnie Stanley, that's a big positive, right? Rosengarten coming back at play right tackle. He looked good as a rookie.
Yeah, the right side is good.
Yes, center's good. So we got to work out the guard positions. And then
he keeps putting that S on the end. I said the right side is good. You got Rosengard and Afalele, Pro Bowl talents right there. You need to figure out that left guard spot. Jonah Williams is available.
Is he? He's not a guard. He's a tackle, isn't he?
No, he's a guard.
Yeah, I don't know about him, man.
He's coming off a down year, but
he's an upgrade for Falele.
I don't think that's where he'd be playing, but that's all right.
But look, I'm happy for the team if this finalizes and gets done. For Ronnie, we advocate for the players to make as much money as possible. For him personally, I don't like it. Yeah. You're one of the top free agents out there. You're going to make more money. Take more money. Okay. I don't believe in hometown discounts. I don't believe in, hey, I'm happy here, so I don't really want to test the market. Just give me something fair. If you can make $5-6 million more per year somewhere else, man, home is where your bank account is. Okay.
That's right. What did Andrew Bynum famously say? I mean, out of the mouths of babes, right? My man said there's a bank in every city. And Jay, oh no, this is the wrong one there. Jay says Jonah Williams gets people killed and edge rushers paid. I'd like for you to point out. No, don't laugh at that. I'd like for you to point out one fatality, sir, just one, and I bet you can't do it. We'll give you until the overtime show. You come to the overtime show with some evidence, sir.
And this is what we talk about, though, Deshaun. He says, yeah, each year I keep hearing the Ravens need to put money on the offensive. They barely have any kind of money. Yeah, they barely have any kind of money for offense. But you notice we always have money for defense.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about Ronnie Stanley and what he should get paid, how are we going to pay Ronnie Stanley? We don't have any money. But when we're talking about trading for Myles Garrett, it's get it done, right? Yeah. When when the Commanders say Jonathan Allen can seek a trade, it's Ravens. When Harold Landry, is allowed to seek a trade, come to the Ravens. Shout out P. Brodny. He asked me that earlier. I got your other question, P. Brodny. That's going to be ready for the submitted questions segment. So I hope you're watching. But on defense, I don't think I've ever had to argue with anybody about getting a defensive player, whether we had the money or not. That's never come up. What about our cap? It's only when we're looking to get somebody on offense.
Yeah. And I can tell you why you don't have any money if you want it. Because I'm looking at it right now. Cap numbers.
Mark Andrews.
Well, no, Lamar Jackson, $43.5 million. Fine. Mm-hmm. He's the quarterback, whatever. Marlon Humphrey, $25 million. Roquan Smith, $23 million.
23.
Mark Andrews, just under $17 million. Nnamdi Madubuike, $16.47 million. Odafe Owe, $13.25 million. And then, Derrick Henry, $12.89. So you can justify two of those. Mm-hmm. 2.5. I'll give Marlo a half. Marlo,
I want to keep Marlo.
Marlo played very well. The number is still a little bit high, I think, for him. But
I'm okay with
well.
that. Yeah.
You can overlook the rest of those are obscene.
$23 million for a linebacker.
Carolina has had the same problem throughout their existence, right? And I'll just point to something that happened this past season. Why are you paying Chuba Hubbard $8 million a year? Right after you paid Miles Sanders $6 million a year, and then drafted a running back in the second round.
They're trying to redo Miles Sanders' deal right now.
Yeah, but it's spending on those kind of guys. Like Chuba Hubbard had a great year for Chuba Hubbard. He's not a special player. Don't pay him $8 million a year.
Miles Sanders got a sweet deal. He got the gift that keeps on giving, right? Because he knew he got overpaid, right? And he's in a situation where they have to pay him, but they need some, they need to get that number down. And what does that buy him? Extra years.
Job security.
Yeah. You've been coming out off that number. I'm gonna need some years though. Okay, I want to play for a few more years. If you cut me now, I'm not gonna. I may not catch on anywhere else. So let's. I like Carolina. Buy the house. Let's throw like 2, maybe 3 years on this deal. We bring this salary all the way down.
Wow, just Allo. And then he followed up with no offense. He said the Baltimore Ravens are a Lamar Jackson away from being the Panthers. That is, that is hurtful. And no, not true. The Carolina Panthers have a top 10 QB of their own. Name a Bryce Young. The Carolina
not the Panthers of the future, the Panthers of the past.
This is the Panthers of the present, and I don't know. I exist in the moment. The future and the past aren't real things. It's only the moment. It's only the present that exists.
All right, but I'm happy that it looks like we're going to bring Ronnie Stanley back. Because I'm telling you, this was going to be a doom and gloom podcast this whole offseason if we let Ron. You guys heard me rant for 2 weeks saying if we don't re-sign Ronnie Stanley, we're cooked. We're not winning anything. Don't even worry about Super Bowl because it ain't going to happen. All right, that's how important he is to the team. Roquan Smith, and again, this is no offense to any of these players, man. Get as much money as you possibly can. If we could come off that $23 million, you would not miss his production.
Deshaun is saying that with guys coming up on the last year of the deal, they're only going to have Madubuike at defensive tackle. You are coming into a draft with 11 picks, and it's a very deep defensive line draft. I promise you are going to have more than just Nnamdi Madubuike under
after
contract
this year?
long term. Yeah, after this draft, you're going to have more than just Madubuike.
Brodny Washington is under contract.
Well, he's talking about after next year. I think he's got 1 year left. He's saying that Pierce and Urban have one more year. And then Travis Jones, obviously, he's going to be coming up on contract, and Brodny Washington's deal will be up as well. But I'm saying
Well,
after this draft, you're going to have more defensive tackles than just those guys anyway.
well, yes, B is right. And so what? So what? Find some people, right? Draft, free agency, whatever. Like, what's so special about these guys that we're talking about that
Listen,
aren't going to be here?
Michael Pierce, Brent Urban, and Brodny Washington don't matter at all.
You can find them anywhere.
Yeah, you could replace all three of those guys tomorrow if you had to, and I mean within that 24-hour period, you could get that done. Yeah, Travis Jones is a talented player. I mean, he's not a game wrecking type of player, but yeah, you'd like to keep him around if you can. But the fact is, they're going to go into the draft. They're going to draft a couple more people. They're going to sign somebody in free agency. They're going to get guys after the draft, and you're going to have more than just those people that you listed.
Man, I was going to put, I forgot to upload a video. I was going to show you guys, I found the guard, the next starting guard for the Baltimore Ravens. I put it in our group chat with us and Coach and Chris and Hendo. But there's this video. You guys can go look it up. It's Michael Parsons versus sumo wrestler. And he tried to bull rush the sumo wrestler. The sumo wrestler barely moved, and he laughed at Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is trying his hardest to move him.
He moved him back about 4 inches, and then those feet stopped, and he didn't waver at all. It was dead. And then he basically patted Michael Parsons on the head and was like, "Nice try, little guy."
He laughed. He giggled.
He turned around and he said, "I want somebody in my weight class."
Yeah, he did say that. That's not. Now, you know, sumo wrestling, there's certain rules. You can't do like any swim moves or anything like that. I don't think. Yeah. But it was just jarring to see because Michael Parsons is so dominating, right? This big, massive dude just stopped him like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Like he didn't do anything. He just stood there and Michael Parsons he put his all into it. He's like, whoa! And he just laughed at him. Look it up. Michael Parsons versus sumo wrestler. We need some of those guys at the guard.
Like E Honda out there.
Yeah.
Yokozuna.
Yeah. All right. Did we cover everything? Oh, Jaycee Horn. The Panthers are working on an extension with Jaycee Horn. B, how do you feel about that?
I guess it's fine. Like I'm afraid of what the number's going to be because he's a good corner. He's not an elite corner, and I'm still mad about that draft because he was about the sixth person in line that they should have taken. You know, it was a bad pick. You know, they should have taken the quarterback in Justin Fields. They should have taken the left tackle in Rashawn Slater. They should have taken the edge in Micah Parsons. They should have taken the wide receiver in Devontae Smith. And then the guy who got drafted immediately after him at number 9, the other corner, Patrick Surtain, just won Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled about Pat Surtain getting Defensive Player of the Year and Jaycee Horn getting an extension. You know, it's not, but you know, it depends on what number comes back in. He is a talented player. They do need to keep him. You know, I have a sore spot about that particular pick in that particular draft. So I'm not thrilled about it.
I understand. All right. What do you want to move on to? You want to do court of public opinion?
Sure. I mean, this should be a real simple one. Even for the contrarians in our chat. You know,
ladies and gentlemen,
there's nothing to argue on the other side of this.
This may not be a real court, but it is the court that you need. Court of public opinion starts.
It starts in a minute.
Now. Oh, in a minute. My bad. He ain't ready yet.
You gotta get the timing down, man. Like,
well, I saw the transition scene. I thought you was ready.
No, I'm setting up the transition scene. That's what I'm doing. It has not transitioned yet. We're gonna be there in a second. All right. Do you want to do it again? Or do you just want me to switch it over?
Well, hold on. While we had this little pause here. All right. Speaking of pause. The newest, the latest podcast from our guy AD. Available at Press Start 410. That's his channel. Check it out. He's putting out a lot of videos. All right, dope videos. For you young bucks out there, you YNs, okay, that are out there in the streets, and you need a little game, okay. Uncle AD is here to get you right. All right. So life advice, relationship advice, all that stuff. Check him out. All right. Press Start 410. That's where you need to go. All right. We're ready. All rise. All rise. Court is now in session. Listen, our guy, Fat Luka. Okay, Luka Doncic.
See, you got him. They all thought it was Steve Smith. No, Steve Smith is the OT topic.
Oh, you thought it was Steve Smith. Steve Smith, patreon.com/LBHT Show. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Go over there. Check it out. It's just $5 for the month.
Maybe this is the Court of Public Opinion.
Why he sound like a slur? I don't know.
You Smitty.
Ask Bobby.
He's one of the only former Ravens / Panthers. You know,
no. That's for the OT.
That's for the OT. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna talk. It's time to talk about Luka. Luka, who was the benefactor / victim of a earth-shattering trade. Okay. Yes. Breaking news. It came. I think that trade happened like midnight or something like that. It was late.
It was like 1-2 in the morning.
It was 12:12. I know that because they said the exact time on the broadcast before the Lakers and Mavericks game.
It was after the Benavidez and Morrell fight.
Yeah,
it was right after that. Yep, that was a great night. That was a great fight. You know, that news was something. But look, he got traded to the Lakers. The Mavericks got Anthony Davis in return,
who immediately got hurt indefinitely.
I feel bad, man, because he was balling in that game.
Yeah, that one quarter he played.
In one game, yeah.
Yeah. But look, there's a lot that's come out, a lot of talk around the trade and why they got rid of Luka. Luka is clearly upset about it. Didn't expect it at all. He thought, his roots were going to be in Dallas. Just bought a new home, expecting that Supermax deal, and now he's not eligible for the Supermax deal, and he's losing out on how much, B?
It was, I believe, 130, 140 million. But a lot of that is just that extra year. Now he is getting less per year moving forward, but a big chunk of that is just the extra year that he can't sign, in a long-term deal right now.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you short me $1 million, we have beef. I don't care how many millions of dollars I have. If you short me $1 million, we have a problem. $30 million, whatever he's going to be short. Yeah, I'm never getting over that. Okay.
And they did the sign and trade, and he would have gotten all his money like Carmelo did with Denver back in the day.
Yep. So the reason why they traded him reportedly is one, they don't still believe in him. They don't like his work ethic. Look, I've been calling him Fat Luka for a couple years, right? Because I remember seeing how he looked when he was in the Spanish league, right? When he was trim and fit. And
he was like 16.
He was trim and fit. Okay, well, he was 18 when he got to Dallas, and he put on 30 pounds. Okay, Dallas, Texas is one of the worst places to go to try and stay in shape. Okay, they have excellent food. The barbecue, everything is big out there, right? Big steak, right? Texas toast, baked potatoes, everything. Okay,
Longhorn Steakhouse.
Listen,
the food is delicious. And he found that out. And when you have millions of dollars, it's never ending. The beer is ever flowing, okay? And he said, I will partake in this, okay? And, they feel like he wasn't taking it seriously. But
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Okay, this is the very definition of playing scared, because this is Baltimore too, uh, where in football, you can have a superstar quarterback, and it's not going to get you there by himself, right? You still got to build up the rest of the team. So that's why Baltimore is kind of treading water right now. In basketball, you have that guy. He can get you there almost by himself, right? And that's not nice. That's that's what happened last year, right? Luka got them to the finals. And people are out here talking about how, Jaylen Brown locked him up, and that's why he won Finals MVP and all this stuff. And that's when they thought maybe he's not taking it seriously enough, and he's not in good enough shape. He was averaging 29 a night, and overall shooting 45% from the field. None of them shot well from three, and that's what ultimately buried them in that series. But if you're looking at a 25-year-old who carried you to the NBA Finals, because let's be honest, Kyrie is a part-time player.
yes,
He shows up some nights. Some nights he it's whatever. Some nights I'm burning sage. They got scared to go all in with Luka. They were scared of winning, and he said, "Let me get out of this before I have to give him this contract, and then people are going to expect me to win." That's what that GM is saying. You can't be afraid to give one of the top 5 players in the NBA the money that he's earned, right? And now you shipped him off to LA, which, by the way, I can't remember who it was. I think it was you, Cam, who spent a whole lot of time telling me how the Lakers were losers and they weren't that team anymore, and nobody wants to play in LA, and they weren't going to get any stars. What you gotta say now? Anyway, you ship him off to LA. He's motivated now. He was doing push-ups before the game, and then he went out there and had a triple-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists in a win. He is on a mission to show you. I mean, everybody knows you were wrong for doing it, but he's on a mission to show you every single day that you were wrong. Maybe it was somebody else. Yeah, my bad.
So he's like, "Why am I getting shots here? Okay, I'm not on trial. Kill's not on trial. Order.
Yeah, no.
Okay, there you go. No, so this has been my theory. You guys have heard me say this, right? When it comes to the NBA, players get into the league young, right? In the first few years, it's about kind of establishing themselves, proving that they belong, having fun, right? Kind of growing into their grown man body somewhat. And they don't take it as serious, right? Because they're young, they're going to be playing for a long time. And once they've kind of established themselves and shown that they belong in the league and they're stars and whatnot, it's just having fun. Like, hey, I'm here and what are you laughing at?
I'm sorry. Apparently, Cam is a Dallas fan. The guy we traded for only played one half. It was a great half, though.
Yeah. But young players come into the league and it's fun, for initially because they got all the time in the world, Then when they get into their late 20s, they've already played, 7, 8 years, and they start thinking about their legacy, right? Now I'm getting to the point where these are my prime years, and I get into my 30s, I start coming out of my prime, but I'll be an established veteran, and I need some rings if I'm really gonna be that guy. What are they gonna say about me when I retire? That's when they start thinking about those things. They start taking it seriously, and that's when you start seeing the best versions of them, right? That's always when they cut their hair too, right? You can have fro, you can have locks, you can have everything until you hit about 27, 28, and then they show up one day bald head because it's it's game time, right? It's all business then, and Luka is entering that phase. He's 25. Yeah. Well, now, you accelerated it, but I don't care if he's drinking beer and all this stuff. Now his body can handle it, right? Give him 2 more years. Give him another year of losing in the finals, and guess what?
Well, I was gonna say like he's already taking it seriously. Like he got you to the finals. Like
Yeah.
you don't like that he's got some baby fat on him. I don't care.
Well, yeah.
I don't like that you paid Kyrie Irving. How about
Well,
that?
okay, I'll get to the organization in a minute, but just for him, yes. Now he's with LeBron, who I mean, I think he laid a blueprint for all the players on how to stay in shape year round, and you know the man's playing. He's what 41 now. You know he's what
He's 40.
he's
40.
one of the candidates for MVP. You know, like he keeps his body in shape all the time, and Luka, who's motivated to prove everybody wrong, working with LeBron. That's a recipe for success. And for the Dallas organization, I mean, how short sighted are you? Okay, you don't like that because it wasn't about winning, right? That's what makes it so bad. You didn't do this so you gave yourself a better chance to win. Although you have AD and Kyrie, you're still a good team. You should be competing, right? If
Well,
AD can stay healthy.
they don't have AD and they don't have Derek Lively and they don't have Gafford now. They're all hurt.
They're all hurt. Yes, they're all hurt. But that's so short sighted. You can't figure out a way to motivate your young star to get in shape, right? Like you're giving up on him at 25 years old, coming off of a finals. That's just weak to me, man. Like this isn't a what's his name with the Pelicans.
Zion, by the way, is at his lightest. So I don't know why you're bringing him.
Yeah, like at 265.
That is exactly where he's at. But I don't know why. I don't know why you're not. Why don't you bring up your boy in Philly? Okay, because that's what they were worried he was going to turn into is Joel Embiid. That's what they said.
Joel Embiid.
No, they couldn't have been.
Joel Embiid gets into the playoffs every year and is not in shape and can't stay healthy, and they don't win.
But you know what? But I don't buy that either. But go ahead, AD. Go ahead.
Luka has a finals appearance and a conference finals appearance before the age of 25 years old.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid has not been past the second round of the playoffs his entire career, even in the MVP season. And he always gets hurt in the playoffs, and he's soft, and the Sixers are trash. But moving forward, on to Dallas and Luka. I feel like Nico Harrison's getting all the blame. Yeah, we know he's a GM, and ultimately the GM is going to get tasked with making that decision. But a lot of times, I got to hang up on whoever that was. But a lot of times, they're making a decision on behalf of what the owner wants, and the owner hasn't come out and done anything other than put out a statement banning number 77 Luka Doncic jerseys from being worn in their arena because that's causing.
They are such a punk ass organization.
They're not allowing people to come. You cannot wear a Luka jersey. They're offering an exchange of equal value for another active player if you come with a Luka jersey, or you got to cover up the 77 and the Doncic.
As if Luka walked out on them.
The fans were, they were protesting before the games, and they were coming into the arena and protesting during the games, yelling at Nico, saying fire him, chanting all type of obscenities. They're extremely upset, and they're probably going to be upset a long time behind.
Well, if it's a Luka Lakers jersey, are they banning that too?
I don't know if they banning the Luka Lakers, but they definitely banning the Luka Mavs jersey.
Well, we're gonna see pretty soon because they're playing them in Dallas, I believe in early March.
All right, put up this poll and let's keep talking about this. So I did not know that.
Who is in the right here? Is it hashtag Luka for enjoying a few adult beverages as is his right, as an adult male in the U.S. Okay, in Texas, having a few steaks, or are the Mavericks in there right for saying, "Ah, man, I can't believe you got us to the finals. Get out of here."
All right, are you voting for hashtag Luka or hashtag Mavs? Is that what you said, Mavs?
Yeah, hashtag Mavs, hashtag Luka. No, but you're right, Adrian. Like he's getting all of the criticism, but to be fair, it's because of the way they framed the trade going down. They said nobody knew about it. It was him and Kobe's friend. He's the only one he called, right? Even Utah, who was the third team in the deal, didn't know what the main part of the deal was. So you make it sound like it was just you. He didn't tell Jason Kidd. That's what he said. He had a press conference sitting right next to Jason Kidd. Saying, "I didn't tell him." If that's the way that you present it, then that's the way that people are going to react to it.
Oh,
right?
He said it's a troll report. It's not real.
They got me. My bad.
Listen, you can say that. You can say that's not real, but I saw them kick out the guy who said "fire Nico" on the dance cam. Like I watched that happen. They put the camera on him, and they're not mic'd up. He mouthed it. He said "fire Nico," and they kicked him out. They escorted him out. No, they're petty.
Yeah. Okay, this is the same argument that we have with Eric DeCosta. And some people say, "Hey, Eric DeCosta can't do anything. This isn't all. These moves aren't him." And when they weren't getting Lamar signed and Lamar asked for a trade, and we were crushing Eric DeCosta, like, "Hey, that's not his fault. He doesn't write the check. That's Steve Bisciotti." Hey, man, you're in a position. You took the job, and if you're taking a job where you don't have any power, that's your fault. Mm-hmm. Especially when you have options, right? Even if you don't have options, you have a choice still. Now, if the owner says trade Luka, I know it's wildly unpopular. I'm not going to take any of the blame for it. You're going to take all the blame for it, but I'm paying you good money. You can say okay, or you can say I quit. Right? You don't have to do it, but you chose to do it, so you get the blame, Nico. That's what it is. That's how it works.
Man,
DJ, you're saying the Lakers won because of foul calls when there was one more foul on Dallas than there was the Lakers. So that was the difference, not the Mavs shooting 35% from the field. You sure?
We talking about last night's game?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you can rationalize why they lost. They lost.
Well, I mean, listen. The reality is the Lakers have never actually won a game of basketball. If you listen to non-Lakers fans, it's never happened.
Yeah. So I mean, hey.
Oh my God! A whole 10 more? Really? Wow.
Yeah, 10 more.
That's wild.
That happens in basketball games. Well, why did they have 10 more free throw attempts? Because it's not, you don't get turns, right? Like it's not, hey, you get 20, you get 20. There's a reason why you get those free throws. Why did they get those free throws? Were you fouling? I mean.
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I feel like Adam Silver made this trade. I mean, y'all not going to agree with me. I know that, but they need somebody to carry that torch when LeBron is no longer part of the franchise and Bronny James is just, Bronny James because he ain't LeBron, and Luka Doncic is a prime candidate for that. He represents an entire nation. He's only 25 years old. He's, you can't even dispute that he's a top 5 player unless, something's wrong with you, so they needed somebody. And AD, we can see is, always DMP. He's going to be injured more often than he's going to be in the starting lineup. So, and he's already 6 years older than Luka. So he wasn't going to be the guy that could carry the franchise once LeBron retires. And now they have that guy in place because you need Boston and you need LA to be competitive and at the top of the league for ratings and just for the interest of fringe and casual fans, in my opinion. But don't quote me on that, though.
Okay, so how
quote me on that.
How we look on the poll here? It looks like it's
a landslide.
Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
It's always
Mavs are right.
It's always one.
It's a troll.
I meant to download this earlier. I'm gonna let's see, I have it here. This is a great picture here. This is a great picture. Let me blow this up. Luka's staring right at Nico. Said, "What's up?" And he let him know, "I'm coming for you." Like this is just the beginning. Luka looks more trim right there. He's been straight in the gym.
Like that jersey just looks better on him.
It does.
I can't even lie. I've only seen him in that jersey a handful of times. and it just looks better, man. Like the purple and gold, it brings something out of a superstar player. And Dallas, man, they don't deserve a superstar like Luka Doncic. They never should have got him to begin with. If Atlanta was smart, Atlanta would have had Luka Doncic, but they stupidly, and I feel like people forget this. They traded Luka for Trey Young, and as much as I love Trey Young, Luka is Luka, man, and they really effed that up for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
DB says, y'all see the Lucas style Lamborghini they brought out? Nah, I ain't see it.
I didn't see that. No.
But look, I mean, this is going to be great. This is going to be great theater. I hope they play each other in the playoffs. Oh man, this is basketball's back.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that for Dallas fans. Like the Dallas fans didn't do anything to deserve this. Like this isn't on.
No, not at all.
Yes, they did. They were born in Dallas, or they live in Dallas, or they root for Dallas. They deserve it.
Wow. Okay. I wasn't gonna go there. It's like, look, Killer says they deserved them. Right there. Boom.
Y'all did not deserve Luka. If y'all deserved him, then why you get rid of him? You know
Well,
what I mean?
listen, that's a pretty solid point right there. I'm not gonna argue with that. Listen,
Why you get rid of him? Man?
I've been saying for a couple of years that Luka was going to be a Laker. I did not think it was going to happen at 25. But thank you, Killer. We appreciate
Not
it.
even in his prime yet. He's probably 2 years before his prime.
That's the crazy thing. Like he's a top 5 player in the league. You know, every year he's an MVP candidate, and like he said, he's not in his prime yet.
Yeah, he's got a solid 10 years left, at least.
It's hitting them where it hurts now. Killer says, "Is that the reason Baltimore never wins?"
I mean, week one says Dallas has won. What is Dallas won? Since Emmitt Smith left the NFL. Oh yeah, they got that Dirk. They got that Dirk championship. That's right.
Yeah. You got Dirk.
They got that. I forgot. Jason Terry and JJ Barea got y'all that one ring.
Yeah, but you got since 2000, you got 2 Super Bowls, and Dallas has 1 NBA championship and Super Bowl combined.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, did the Dallas Stars win anything? How about
you know what? I don't know, but that's not a major sport, so it doesn't matter.
The Dallas Wings.
All right, let's go to submitted questions. And then we'll
there weren't any
up.
submitted questions.
Well, we have one.
No, we don't. I didn't put it under submitted questions. I gave it its own little banner here because I did not think about it as submitted questions. So
well, let's go to the scene anyway. We don't ever play this scene.
We play this all the time. We play it all the. And by the way, just to make the announcement here, I went ahead and just took out the date on the submitted question post, so you can just keep posting questions on the post that's there right now. It'll be there every week, and y'all can ask whatever questions you need to ask. It's ridiculous. I don't understand
put that in the community note so they know.
I don't understand it, but it's all right. Let me go ahead and get this switched over to the submitted question. We've got one submitted question, and I'm not going to say it's a bad question, but I'm not going to say it's a good one either. All right.
I like these type of questions.
I don't like these type of questions. I am going to say it's a bad question, but I'm not going to say that until after
you do like this question. All right. So, okay, wait. Before, okay, I have a graphic here. All right. This is submitted by P. Brown III, a.k.a. P. Brownie, right? He hit us up on Instagram because I tell you guys all the time, there's all kinds of ways to contact us, okay? Anywhere on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at LBHT Show. Now, unfortunately, because we don't have a social media manager, I don't see the messages right away, okay? But I will see them. And he submitted this question. He said, hey, what do you think about this? This is an idea for the Pro Bowl. So replace the Pro Bowl with a game the week before the Super Bowl. The 2 worst teams play for the first pick in the NFL draft. Guys, what are your thoughts?
Terrible idea. Absolutely awful idea.
Horrendous.
Hate it, hate it, hate it. What happened to the scene?
I don't know. Did you? I don't know.
Oh, good lord, Evie Mux, like you just.
Let's just leave it here.
All right, listen, terrible idea because one, the entire and I don't know why fans don't understand this. The entire point of the draft is that the worst team gets the first pick so they can get better. Like when they talk about having the lottery tournament in the NBA. Okay, so the team that missed the playoffs by one game gets Wembenyama? What? Why? What is that? What's that mean? Right? That's nonsense. But then you're also talking about this is a brutal sport. So you're talking about having these garbage teams who already checked out 8 weeks ago who don't care go out and play another game. And then also their season's over. A lot of these guys are free agents. They don't want to suit up for that team again either and possibly get hurt and hurt their free agency value. It's a terrible idea all the way around.
It's stupid.
And also, and I mean, what are you going to do for teams that fired their coach? Like the new coach has to come in and install his offense in 6 days.
I like. I don't like this idea, but I like the way his mind is thinking. Right? How do we improve the Pro Bowl game? Right? You have a game with some, something at stake, and people can watch that. That's why we suggested having the Senior Bowl that week. Had a Senior Bowl game or something to that equivalent where you have incoming prospects playing that game because they're trying to showcase their skills for the NFL draft. I don't like that idea, but something along the lines of a game where you get regulated down to another league, a lesser league.
No, that's just where you finish. That's how that works. And Dare saying the bottom four playoff style bracket for the top four picks. No, I hate it more. I'll tell you why. Because listen, if you're bad enough,
no more tournament.
If you're bad enough to get that number one pick, then you get the number one pick. And you're not only taking away the number one pick, you're taking away the ability to auction off that pick to make your team better. So if you had a tournament and let's say, the Bears.
But no, I was talking about I was talking about my idea for team relegation. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I know. But I'm saying that comes from the regular season. That's just whoever is the worst in the league. They go down, however many teams it is.
But some soccer leagues have tournaments for that.
Yeah. Some of them, and they do for promotion as well. Like it's just a built-in thing. Like wherever you fall in the standings, you play one or two games, and then the top however many get moved up to the next round. Top or the bottom however many get moved down.
Well, this is my thing. Why do we keep spending so much time talking about how to improve exhibition games? Like the NBA All-Star game, let's improve it. Let's have USA versus the world. Let's have the worst team in the league play the second worst team in the league. Why should they even care about an exhibition? It's an exhibition game. Like, realize that football is not a game that you can play well in an exhibition. That's why the preseason is terrible. You can get preseason tickets for like $4 and a pack of Big Red. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to play in a preseason other than the guys who need to in order to make the team. In an exhibition style game for a draft pick for a team they might not even be on next year, a team they might not even make next year, they might not even be in the league at all. And why should they care about where that team is drafting next year? The Pro Bowl is good what it is, a flag football game. Let's get some women out there and they can play against like some cheerleaders or something. That might make it a little more interesting. But it's an exhibition, man. Y'all want competition in games that don't count? It's not going to happen.
But again, like you're saying, so just as an example, right? I mean, I know this wasn't one of the worst teams in the league, but I'm not up on everybody's free agency situation. Minnesota,
yeah, they would have to get more money. Yeah,
but how do you get more money? Like it's not in your contract to play a game. But regardless, like let's say Minnesota finished as the worst or second worst team, right? They just whatever happened, they just the year just didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. Who's their starting quarterback in that game? Because Sam Darnold's a free agent. So is Sam Darnold going to go out there and risk another playoff like performance like he had that cost him
No.
millions and millions of dollars most likely?
No.
Or how about this? Better yet, is Sam Darnold going to go out there if he is under contract and try to win you the number one pick so you can draft his replacement?
No.
Like it makes no sense. You can't do it this way. And like Adrian said, the Pro Bowl doesn't matter, man. Like who cares if it sucks? It's an honor for the players who had a good season. It's a trip to Hawaii or wherever it is now. I forget it. You know they stayed there.
Orlando, I think
The
Disney
Yeah,
was.
fans care
it's a
because
trip.
if you're around our age or older, we remember when the Pro Bowl was a little bit more competitive, right? The people that were, Pro Bowl used to mean something. If you got voted to the Pro Bowl, you got voted to the All Star game. That was part of your legacy, right? But times change. Okay,
Different
uh,
generation of
yeah,
people.
things change, and it doesn't mean the same as it used to, and that's fine. It's okay.
And it doesn't mean the same because of fans.
Yeah, yeah, and that's okay. All right, that's it. We're getting out of here. You guys want to hear us talk about Steve Smith and his entanglement? Go over. All right, we're gonna have a different spin on it. I want to talk. I want to talk more about the reaction to the news by by fans and whatnot. But go over to Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's where you can find us coming up soon. Adrian, plug your stuff one more time. Press star 410.
Yeah, press start 410. I'm on YouTube. You can search at P start 410, or you can type the whole thing. Press start 410. I talk about relationships. I talk about life. I talk about dating. I talk about improving yourself as a high quality human being, specifically a high quality male. And everybody over 30 years old is something that you can relate to, and even younger people. So I want y'all to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, man. I'm going to keep hitting y'all with content all day. Shout out the lunch break hot take for having me on. Y'all know what it is. Yeah.
Salute, salute. All right, my camera is dying right at the right time, right at the end here. You know what's funny about this? I'm free. It's freezing up right now. Go over to the overtime show. It's not gonna freeze up. It's this platform. It's EV Mux. I hate this thing. All right. All right. We'll talk more about that in the overtime show as well. Why we hate EV Mux, and we're gonna be on another platform. Doesn't affect you guys as much, but hopefully, you can get a full intro again, and you can see the whole credits when we roll them. But that's what it is. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. Still 63 people in here, man. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you hit that like button if you're new here. Hit that subscribe button. We hope you're enjoying this. We do this every week, every Wednesday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. All right. So and turn your notification bells on because we put out some produced content here and there. All right, we're trying to get more consistent with that in the off season. So we got a lot of content coming up for you guys. All right, but Patreon members, get ready. The overtime show is starting soon. Everybody else, thank you very much. Have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.